Hello friends, Kisan is here again and welcome you in this video tutorial. In past video tutorial we have talked about the primary key generation algorithm is called auto, and we have seen an example, right? So in this video tutorial we are going to talk about the primary key generation type identity in Hibernate. The generation type is enumeration which contains a lot of constant. Second constant which defines the primary key as identity. So identity is the easiest to use. It relies on an auto incremented database column and lets the database generate a new value with each insert operation. From a database point of view, this is a very efficient because the auto increment columns are highly optimized and it doesn't require any additional statements, right? So if you have a employee ID which you have defined as a primary key at ID, and you can apply identity primary key generation algorithm something like this. At generated value you can specify identity. This approach has a significant drawback as well. If you use Hibernate requires a primary key value for each managed entity and therefore has to perform the insert statement immediately. This prevents it from using different optimization technique like JDBC batching, right? JDBC batch operations. So if you choose any of the primary key generation algorithm, then you must know the limitations as well, right? So let's go ahead and let's see how identity primary key generation algorithm works. So in previous video tutorial we have seen how auto works, right? Now here now when you specify identity as a primary key generation algorithm, then you don't need to define an extra table. This does not create any extra table, right? So this sequence generator I'm going to remove, and here this also you don't need to specify, and generation algorithm you are going to select, that is generation type identity, right? So this is the second one. Now Hibernate is going to use Hibernate specific auto incremented feature to generate the primary key, and Hibernate is not going to create a separate table for the primary key generation as happened in the auto in the case of auto, right? Now if I go to the database, this is our database, so let's drop these two tables and let's create everything from the scratch. So let's try to allow Hibernate to create the table for us, right? So here guys, there are some few more classes like Hibernate util, and we have a Hibernate configuration file. If you do not know how we can work with these files, how we have created these files, then you may watch my previous video tutorial. In this video tutorial mainly I am going to focus on how primary key generation algorithm identity works. So only you will have to annotate your primary key property with at generated value, and a strategy you will have to choose identity. That's it. And here basically I'm going to create one employee, right? And this value we have specified. So Hibernate is going to create table for us, right? So because HBM2 DDL value we have specified as update. Now if you can see on the console, now you can see Hibernate has not created extra table for the primary key generation. So Hibernate has created table for us, employee table, because we had dropped that one, and Hibernate has performed one primary key generation algorithm, and you can see employee is created with ID 1. If you go into the database and if you refresh, now you can see one record is inserted, right? But you can see there is no extra table is created for the primary key generation, right? But in the case of auto there was one extra table was created, Hibernate sequence, and later point of time we had customized name of that table as well, right? You can see now second insertion, second record has inserted with primary key 2. So it's pretty straightforward, right? So if you compare with the Hibernate 4, so this identity works like a auto when you compare with Hibernate 4. In Hibernate 4, if you specify, if your database in MySQL and you specify auto, then Hibernate is not going to generate a extra table, right? But in case of Hibernate 5, things has been changed. if you specify auto, then Hibernate is going to create a extra table, right, and that will use the sequence to generate a basically primary key, right. So this is pretty straightforward. So that, thanks for watching this video, and this code I'm going to check in on the GitHub, and GitHub location you will get in the video description. So thanks for watching this video, and next video we are going to discuss next primary key generation algorithm. So thanks for watching this video, and see you next video tutorial.